If you're looking at new construction options in the North Austin corridor, but you don't want to be so far out, you want to be close in, you want an open concept home, then stick with me for a great home tour. Now, this is the Palo Alto plan built by Toll Brothers Homes. Now, two of my clients contracted on this plan, but it's called something different in another community. It's called the Glenson plan. And I'm gonna talk about that other community that has amazing views. I'm gonna compare it to this community that we're in, which is called Hidden Creeks at Lakewood Park. We're in Cedar Park, Texas, a suburb just outside of Austin, Texas. And this home has over 3,900 square feet, has 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, and we're gonna walk through this home in detail. You saw that grand entrance when you first walk in. You're gonna see tall ceilings in the main living area and a lot of different upgrades for this home that is for sale at just under $1.2 million. Now, if that's not within your price point, you're looking at homes under $1 million, or you're looking at various price points, but you just wanna know a little bit more about the Austin area, stick with me. My name's Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor here in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 21 different builders, including Toll Brothers many times over, including other builders that have similar homes to this. And so in this video, I'm gonna talk about all the differences between these builders, why my clients landed on this plan in another community, and why people are looking at this area of Cedar Park. Now, first things first, we're gonna start right here in the kitchen where they decided to do two-tone kitchen cabinets, putting a dark color on the kitchen island and that light brown color on the exterior cabinets. Let me know what you think about this. When I was in a design studio recently, the designer mentioned browns are back in. So you see that right here on the floor, where you get this engineered hardwood, and then you have that great brown color that kind of extends in a different color on the cabinets. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that this is coming back? Because Toll Brothers on this home really made it the focal point. You see above this 5-burner gas stovetop, they just did a simple horizontal picket backsplash, and they ran it up to the vent hood, so not up to the ceiling. And it's because they really believe these cabinets are what's gonna make this kitchen stand out. What does stand out, I think, in this plan is there is a lot of cabinetry here. That extended cabinetry goes all the way down. I like the size of this kitchen island. A lot of my clients tell me they love big kitchen islands. And then the veining through this countertop is something you may not notice in the video, but you definitely notice it when you're here in person. That kind of matches up with the cabinets. Now, we're gonna get outside. I'm gonna talk all about what's going on in the backyard, kind of being a little bit butted up to neighbors, and then talk about the differences between some of these homes. Because I've had clients have amazing views of hills behind their home. I've had clients that butt up right up against neighbors and they put in landscaping after the fact. There's so many things that you can do. But some of those things you can't change is your pantry size in a lot of cases. This is one of the biggest pantries I've seen for being just under 4,000 square feet. I think that's why this plan does stand out for a lot of my clients, especially those that go to Costco a lot and they tend to bulk buy. They're like, where am I gonna put all this stuff? Some of these pantries are like the size of a linen closet, and I think Toll Brothers really hit it out of the park with the pantry. Now, for some people that might be a small detail. For others, I've actually found that's a pretty big deal. And I wanna know in the comments what you think about that. Now, what a lot of people think about this living room is it's wide open. I wanna hear from you about this fireplace design. I feel like it's a bit polarizing where it feels, it's got that brownish look, which is great, but it feels like it's a smaller tile from what I usually see on the fireplaces. But what I usually see is tile running all the way up the ceiling. In fact, I've had probably 7 or 8 clients build in the last year and a half that did tile all the way up to the ceiling. So let me know what you think about that. What I want to point out here is the floor outlet. So this is a bit of a confusing location of the floor outlet being here, because it would kind of be under your your coffee table, excuse me. What I usually do is I advise people to put the floor outlet like right around here in the corner, so you can attach it to multiple recliners if you're putting recliners around here. But that would be usually like kind of in line here with the door, so people kind of have access way to walk between the kitchen island to the door behind the couch, and then that couch kind of covers the floor outlet. Or instead of covering it, it's one of the stands that's on that side would cover it. So let me know what you think about that. These are some of the small details that I point out to some of my clients when they're looking to buy homes or when we're looking to design from scratch. When we're looking to build from scratch and we're designing all these things, I try to give them as many examples as I can, and my team and I are constantly working at getting as many details as possible in front of our clients so that they can make better decisions. Now, for this specific plan, we got a study in the front, we got 2 bedrooms downstairs, we got a game room, media room upstairs, so there's still a lot to see here. But on this plan, the dining room is in the back. And what I would say, most of my clients that like dining rooms like this, they like the amount of windows that are in here. It makes it feel like it's a part of the outside of the home, but also the dining room just still feels like it's a part of the living room. And for some of my clients that tell me they've done dining rooms, like formal dining rooms before in their house, and they never use it, well, then this is a pretty good plan where it combines it with that main living space. Now, if my voice is starting to become robotic, it's because they are running multiple saws and stuff building that house. And that's actually a pretty good example of what it's like to be around new construction. So I'm gonna first hone in on these tall ceilings in the patio. This is something that's big for my clients that they love. And for my clients that are in another community called Treviso, they have an amazing view off their backyard. So they have a second floor balcony that they're putting in. Their homes are actually under construction right now as I'm shooting this video. And so far it's coming out amazing. We've actually already done pre-drywall walks for both of them. And they love this plan because take a look at the windows that are back here. Incredible. You got windows on the left side, which is actually going to be the primary bedroom. With those windows we saw previously downstairs in the dining room, and then we're going to see them upstairs in the media room. And take a look at those sliding glass doors and windows that open up. Now, what I want to focus on this home, $1.2 million or just under it for list price. Keep in mind, even though we're butted up against a neighbor, there is usually landscaping that you can put in. We just got to double check the survey or anything with the builder. If there's anything restrictions, usually it's just you can't build right on the property line for obvious reasons. It needs to be a certain distance from the fence. But if you look at that tree, it looks puny right now. I had those same trees in my home, and I've been in my home now for 4 years. But even after 2 years, that made a huge difference in how those trees grew out. So you just have to find something that grows fast. And I've had people where after 1.5 years, 2 years makes a huge difference when you have trees like that lined along here. Then you're like backing up to greenery. It feels a lot better, especially if you value privacy. Or you just become friends with your neighbors behind you, and then you can just wave to them anytime you want. But I feel like for people who want the former, not the latter, or maybe you don't like your neighbors, you never know. But if you want the former, it's just a matter of getting landscaping back there. And then I have friends that have been in their home for like 5 to 6 years. You can barely see the house behind their home. And they're right up against that home, almost exactly like this in a master plan community. Now, this is the primary bedroom. I was talking about that earlier, where you have windows on top of windows. You get a nice pitch in the ceiling that I'm going to show you one more time. And I think for a space that you're going to be using every single day, it's nice to have a lot of windows that you can open up to get that natural sunlight in. It's nice to have electrical up on the walls to get you that TV up on the wall without having to fish wires everywhere. And then you also get a primary bedroom. This is actually interesting. I never see a linen closet in the bedroom, but here they somehow fit some space in there to get the primary bedroom. But I think the primary bathroom opens up really well. And for this plan to be built, just under 4,000 square feet, you're going to see here, we got a lot of rooms. And a lot of times when you get a lot of rooms, the rooms are small, right? But in this home, somehow with the square footage, I feel like it feels much bigger. And some of these rooms, like this primary bathroom, still feels very large. And when I say a lot of rooms, this home has 2 bedrooms down, a study. It's got a 3-car tandem garage upstairs. Got a couple more bedrooms, couple more bathrooms. and also a game room and a media room. Let me know what you think about this tile. It almost kind of feels like a white brick, but I think maybe in the video it feels like that, but when I'm up close, it is actually starting to feel more and more like a white brick. Let me know what you think about that. I like this stone look on the floor, and then it flows all the way up with that tile work going all the way up to the ceiling. And by the way, as you can tell, rain shower, gotta have the rain shower. And then we have that same tile work actually behind the freestanding tub as a backsplash. Now, while we're in here, let me talk about two things. Number one, I'm going to talk about the differences between this community and another community that Toll Brothers is building in. We also have some more new communities that are coming up with Toll Brothers. And then also I have a client that's actually looking around right around this price point. We actually just submitted an offer on a home today that I'm recording this at right around $1.1 million on a home. And so I want to talk about the differences between new construction, what's going on in the resale market. But I'm going to start with that first community that we talked about, which is we're in Hidden Creeks at Lakewood Park. And what people are saying about this community that they like is all the amenities that are close by. So we're right off of Ronald Reagan Boulevard. If you don't know anything about the Austin metro area, Ronald Reagan Boulevard is the same road that Apple is building their second headquarters. Now it's called a different name, it's called Palmer Lane, but it's the same road. As you get a little bit further up north in the Austin metro, that name of Palmer Lane changes to Ronald Reagan Boulevard. So just in case you're looking at a map, those are the same thing, it's the same road. Well, that road leads right up against Hidden Creek. It's pretty much like almost like less than a mile away from this community. And so a lot of the tech growth that's happened along the north and northwest corridor of Austin, this community is perfectly positioned to take advantage of it. But here's the biggest difference. You got amenities very close by. Like literally after this, 3 minutes away, if I want to pick up some bagels or something for my kids and my wife, I can just go to the bagel place that's close by to here, and I'm just gonna grab some bagels. There's a couple of Indian restaurants that I love going to along Ronald Reagan Boulevard. A couple of those eateries are here across the street from this community. Maybe not restaurants, but like an eatery. You can just pick up some quick food. There's Tia Poco. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but they do like smoothies and drinks. But here's the thing, this complex that has all of those places, it just opened up. It just opened up like within the last year of me recording this video. And there's a lot of new commercial that's coming up along Ronald Reagan Boulevard. And so the point is, if you want to be close in proximity to these areas, then there really isn't a new build neighborhood that has forever homes like this that is close in proximity to all these amenities like Hidden Creek. And hence that's why you get the price of just under $1.2 million for this home. And by the way, this is the third car tandem garage. That's going to be a water softener loop. And then this door is actually to take out your trash. So you can just put your trash here and then go out and take it out. But I don't know if it's as useful here. Usually that space is kind of behind the fence line. So your fence line is here and then you can't see the trash. Well, what's interesting is the fence line's back there. So maybe there's another use for that door that I'm missing, but at least that's what I always thought what that use was. It's just like, you don't want to go outside your garage door to take out your trash. You just pop in there. And then they do have a space right here to build out a mud bench if you want to put that in there. By the way, I have a guy who's put in mud benches for multiple clients that I've had. And of course, this was the laundry room. If it wasn't obvious, this is the laundry area that we saw previously with cabinetry and a sink. Okay, we're gonna get to the study next. And study and then the second bedroom down. And while we're here, I want to talk about that other community. So the community that we're in, Hidden Creeks at Lakewood Park, again, it has close proximity to everything. I would say the one drawback is it doesn't have great topography, views, or it doesn't have anything like that. It's pretty much relatively flat in here. So when you're in this study, you're not going to get a view off your home or off the back of your home, and then everything is relatively flat back here. Like that's a lot that's right next to us, and that's probably pretty much every lot looks like in this community, maybe with a couple minor exceptions. By the way, that's a great floor outlet to have, so you can put your desk right in the middle of this study. Now, as we get to the second bedroom down, the other community that I want to talk about is called Treviso. Now, Treviso is one of the most popular communities in the Austin metro for new construction. And I think the main reason why is it's got amazing views. When you drive out to Treviso, the drive out to Treviso is amazing. Like the first time you do it, you're like, wow, I can't believe there are rolling hills like this in the Austin metro. And if nobody's ever told you about that, I think it's quite the surprise. At least I was definitely surprised when I saw areas like that, and that's why I got into real estate. I kept telling my friends, you have to see these areas. They're amazing. Now with Treviso, the good part is it's been built out for a while. Treviso's been built out, I think, for about 8 to 12 years approximately. And so a lot of the community is already finished. I just went to a developer meeting for Treviso where they had a small amount of realtors that they invited to get information from the developer of Treviso. And for the two builders that are building there, one of them Toll Brothers, the other one's Taylor Morrison, they gave us information on what was going on with the community. And, as realtors, we expressed some concerns about construction standards and kind of also wanted to get an idea of what's going on with the market. So it's always good to go to those events. But the main takeaway I actually got from that event is Treviso's on the verge of closing out. Like it's probably going to be done potentially in the next 2 to 3 years, depending on the timeline of some of these things. And for a community that's a little bit more established, that has great views, it's a good buy right now, especially in the current market where there's a lot of opportunities for lots. Like 2 years from now, I may not be saying that in that community of Treviso. The main problem though with Treviso is it's further out, right? When you look at the location of this community compared to Treviso, it's not even close. And so if you like greenery, you don't want to see your neighbors back there. That's where I'm saying it's important to be creative and think about these solutions like landscaping. Because some of these plans, like that's the second bedroom down, it's got an in-suite full bathroom, the powder bath is outside of it. These are homes that are great for people that want family to stay with them. So a lot of my clients tell me they want their parents staying with them on the first floor. They don't want them going up and down the steps. I pretty much say it on almost every single one of my videos because I have parents who are aging too. My dad's 78 years old. He's healthy as a clam. He can get up and down the steps easily. But if I'm buying a home right now, I'm planning ahead. I don't ever want to have that time come up where my parents may not go up and down the steps. In fact, that thought is terrifying, to be frank. But as a son, I feel like I have to be responsible and think about those things before buying. Now, hey, that's me. If you're thinking, well, how long are they actually going to be staying with you or stuff like that, I totally get it. Everybody has their different opinion on these things, but I think it's important to talk about it. And if you're not talking about it, that's where I think a lot of people, when you ask them what's the number one regret they have when buying, is they didn't think these things through, okay? Now, what I would say thinking things through is also putting in electrical. I feel like this game room that we just saw on the second floor here is great. Just might need a little bit more lighting. Like I usually tell my clients, if you're gonna put in lighting, add 4 lights in the game room. So you're usually here at night, right? Like after a long work day, maybe this is like the kids' room or something like that. You're probably gonna need light, right? Especially if you have a neighbor right up against you, which almost every single home in this community has. But for the media room, what I liked about this is they built windows. I think windows are great in a media room. If you want that theater experience, you can always make those windows blacked out, right? But adding windows is a big pain. I rarely ever see people do that. And so if you want to make this a theater room experience, you got the electrical for it, which you have there. Even behind me, you have speakers up on the wall, so it's pre-wired for surround sound. Those are the 2 white caps that we see here. But if you just want to keep this as a hangout area too, it's nice to have natural light in here, right? And those are 3 really good sized windows to have there. And you can see backing up to some more neighbors where these construction workers are finishing up that home. But I like having that option to open that up with windows. And then for some of my clients that have views, I love when they can get views on their second floor too. Some of my clients don't need it, but when they buy in like Treviso, or there's another community, there's actually quite a few communities my clients have bought in where they have incredible views. I love seeing that second floor game room or something like that with capturing that view. Now I have a client that's in another community that just closed recently. They don't need that. They have such incredible views off their back patio, and it's all on the first floor. And then I have another client of mine that got that on their first floor as well, but they still ended up getting a second floor balcony because they just wanted to take advantage of the views as much as possible. Now upstairs, like I mentioned before, we have a couple of bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms as well. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom home. And for this bathroom, it's accessible from the hallway, so guests can use it. And then you also have accessibility from the bedroom. What I like that option of having 2 doors, so this person can get a little bit of privacy. What I don't like is this. It's like these small things kind of bother me. It's do you see what I mean? It's just closing on top of each other. And so sometimes I've had a client who had this. I forget which plan. I'd have to look back at my notes. But they hate it when their kids, they'll be downstairs and one of their kids will swing this open, it hits it, and it makes like a loud bang noise. And it's just like a little bit annoying, you know? Let me know what you think about that. Am I being picky, or is that something that bothers you as well? Now for this specific home, what I like about it is they do have a bathtub here. I like this fine tile, which looks very elegant. But then on the other bedroom, and bathroom, it's private from the rest of this game room, media room. It's in this direction. This actually has a walk-in shower. And so while we're here, I want to talk about what's going on with the current market. And one of my clients who actually just made an offer, why we did that. My client who's actively making an offer, it's actually the perfect example of picking views over proximity. For them, they express concern going to a neighborhood that's actually even further out than Treviso, but it's got amazing hills. Like, it's just, you drive into the neighborhood, there's gorgeous hills, there's greenery everywhere. You feel like you're in Austin. Like, I think that's why some people are like, they're very attracted to Austin because of the beauty that's here. And you may not see that on this cloudy day, but trust me, it's not cloudy like this usually. In fact, we're usually struggling for rain and normally in a drought. But what I'll tell you is what they decided to do is when they were out here in Austin, they were out here for about a week. We obviously looked at some homes. It was actually a second trip. So we were just reviewing some options, a couple that they've already seen. And then I asked them to make that drive, go back out to that area. Sometimes when you do a drive one time, it's so far away, right? Like, it just feels overwhelming. But when you do it again and then again, sometimes it feels like, oh, I can do that drive in my sleep. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Is it longer than I would like? Yes. But am I willing to do it to get amazing views, gorgeous hills, a river running through there, and just like beauty everywhere? Yes. And for for my clients, they said yes, and we're now making an offer at a property there. For other clients, though, they've said no. They're like, I can never imagine doing that drive ever again. I'm so horrified by the traffic on the West Coast or Seattle. A lot of my clients call me from the West Coast, and they tell me they are stuck in traffic for over an hour. The last thing they want to do is come here and drive around. And if that's you, then I think there are some other options I would put on your radar. But if you're looking at views, and by the way, those other options that's coming up on your radar, they are coming up. There are a lot of communities that are about to come up. They're about to launch. There are new phases that are coming up that are about to launch. And I'm constantly telling my clients about these new communities, new phases that are coming up. And so I'm happy to share those with you. If you're looking at views, you want beauty, I have some great options that are coming up. But if you want to be close in proximity in the city or to the domain area, to some of these tech companies like Apple or Amazon or all these companies that people reach out to me that are moving to Austin for this reason, I got a batch of ideas for you that are all coming up. And this is what nobody else is talking about. A lot of people just want to sell you on what is existing on the market I want to show you all your options so you don't get it under contract, you don't have any regrets, you know what everything is out there, you know all your options, and then you can make a much better decision from there. So I'm happy to share that with you. Just shoot me a text introducing yourself using the number at the bottom of the description of this video. Happy to jump on a call and help out. And then my team and I can definitely help you from there. At the top of the description of this video are lots that I send out on a weekly basis. So I have a weekly newsletter showing you great lots that you can build on. And feel free to sign up there. And then if you want to see another home built by Toll Brothers, go ahead and click right here. And as always, I hope that helps. Take care, everyone.